The deep space monitoring station on Europa was quiet that morning. Most of the crew were still asleep when the alert came through. Only Jack, the night shift monitor, was awake to see the first blinking red light on his screen. "That's not right," he said to himself, tapping the glass display. The sensor readings showed something massive moving into the solar system. At first, he thought it was a mistake. Objects that big didn't just appear out of nowhere. He ran the scan again. The readings were the same. Jack pressed the emergency button. "Captain Reed to the control room, now." Captain James Reed was a tall man with tired eyes. He had been in space for 15 years, 9 of them as captain of the Europa station. Nothing much surprised him anymore. But when he saw the readings, on Jack's screen his eyes opened wide. "How big did you say it was?" he asked. "Almost as big as Earth's moon, sir," Jack replied. "Moving slowly at the edge of our system. No heat signature, no radiation, it's just there." Reed checked the readings himself. "Send word to Earth. We need a team to check this out." 3 days later, the scout ship Horizon left Europa Station. On board were Captain Reed, Dr. Lisa, Brown, and engineer Tom Miller. Lisa was the best xenobiologist in the space program, even though she had never actually met an alien. Tom was strange but brilliant with machines. He had a way of fixing things no one else could understand. "Approaching the object," Reed announced as they neared their target. Through the main window, they saw it for the first time. It was smooth and dark gray, shaped like an oval with flat sides. No windows, no visible engines, just a massive shape floating in space. "That's not a natural object," Lisa said, pressing her face against the glass. "Someone built that." Tom said nothing, but he felt a strange buzz in his head like a forgotten song. The Horizon circled the mysterious object, taking readings from all sides. They found what looked like a door on one end. Reed decided they would dock there and try to enter. "Are you sure that's wise, Captain?" Lisa asked. "We don't know what's inside." "That's why we're here," Reed replied. "To find out." The docking was easy, almost as if the giant ship had pulled them in. The door opened without resistance. Reed led the team inside, all 3 wearing their spacesuits just in case. Inside, lights came on as they entered. The air was breathable according to their tools. Slowly, they removed their helmets. "How is this possible?" Lisa wondered. "This ship must be ancient, but everything works perfectly." The halls were wide and tall, with smooth walls covered in strange writing, symbols showing stars, planets, and what looked like maps of the galaxy. One symbol appeared more often than others. 3 vertical lines next to each other with a circle around them. "Class 111, Tom said suddenly. Reed looked at him. "What?" Tom pointed at the symbol. "That's what it means. This is a Class 111 world. Ship." "How could you possibly know that?" Lisa asked. Tom shook his head. I don't know. I just do." They walked deeper into the ship. The halls led to bigger rooms filled with strange machines. Some looked like they were made for growing plants. Others had tables that might have been for eating or working. Everything was built for beings about the same size as humans. "This was made to carry people," Reed said. "A lot of people, like a city in space." "A world ship," Tom said. "Designed to transport an entire civilization across the stars." In one room, they found what looked like a control center. Panels with more symbols lined the walls. When Tom got close to one panel, his head began to hurt. He reached out and touched it. Images flashed in his mind. Stars exploding. Strange beings running. A war. Then darkness. "Tom!" Lisa shouted, catching him as he fell back. "Are you okay?" His eyes were wide. They were running from something. The people who built this ship, they were trying to escape. "How do you know that?" Reed asked, concerned. Before Tom could answer, a light began to flash on one of the panels. A soft hum filled the room. "What did you do?" Reed asked. "I don't know," Tom said. "I just touched it." Lisa checked her tools. "Some kind of signal just activated. It's sending out a pulse." "Can we stop it?" Reed asked. Tom tried touching the panel again, but nothing happened. "I don't think so." Reed's communicator beeped. It was Jack from the Europa station. "Captain, we're detecting new objects entering the system, fast-moving, like nothing we've ever seen before." Reed looked at his team. "We need to go deeper. Find out what this ship is and why it's here before whoever is coming arrives." They moved quickly through more halls until they found a large circular room. In the center was a raised platform with what looked like sleep pods arranged in a circle. All were empty except one. Inside the last pod was a figure. It looked almost human, 2 arms, 2 legs, a head, but its skin had a slight blue tint. It appeared to be sleeping. "An alien," Lisa whispered, her eyes wide with wonder. "A real alien." Tom stepped toward the pod, drawn by a feeling he couldn't explain. When he got close, his head began to hurt again. He reached out and touched the glass. The pod lit up. The pain in Tom's head grew stronger. He fell to his knees but kept his hand on the glass. "Tom, get back," Reed ordered. But Tom couldn't move. The pod opened with a soft hiss. The alien's eyes opened. They were deep blue, almost glowing. It sat up and looked directly at Tom. "Hello," it said in perfect English. "My name is Alex. I've been waiting for you for a very long time." Reed and Lisa stood frozen in shock. "How can you speak our language?" Lisa finally asked. Alex smiled. "I learned it from him." He pointed at Tom. "From me?" Tom asked. "But we've never met." "Not in this life," Alex said. "But your ancestors and mine knew each other well." Alex stepped out of the pod. He looked like a young boy, maybe 12 years old in human terms, but his eyes seemed ancient. "This ship is called the Seeker," he said. "It is the last of the Class 111 world ships built by my people, the Ankai." "What is a Class 111 world ship?" Reed asked. "It is the most advanced vessel ever created," Alex explained, "capable of sustaining millions of lives for thousands of years as they travel between stars. But it is also much more than that." A loud alarm sounded from Reed's communicator. Jack's voice came through, panicked. "Captain, multiple ships have entered Earth orbit. They're not one of ours." Alex's face turned grave. "They found us sooner than I expected." "Who found us?" Reed demanded. "The Verith," Alex said. "They destroyed my world. They hunted us across the stars. And now they've come to your world to find this ship." "Why?" Lisa asked. "What do they want?" "They want what all conquerors want," Alex said. "Power. And the greatest power in the galaxy is in this ship." He looked at Tom. "That's why I need your help. Because of what you are." "What am I?" Tom asked, his voice shaking. "You are part Ankai," Alex said. "And only someone with Ankai blood can unlock the true power of this ship." Reed's communicator beeped again. "Captain," Jack's voice said, "the alien ships are landing. They're landing all over Earth." Reed looked at his team, then at Alex. "We need to warn Earth." "It's already too late," Alex said. "The Verith have arrived, and your world will never be the same." The news spread quickly across Earth. Alien ships had landed in 12 major cities at the same time: New York, London, Tokyo, Beijing, Delhi, Cairo, and others. Each ship was the same: black metal that seemed to drink in light, shaped like an arrow pointing down. Each one was about the size of a small building. No one knew what to do. Some people ran. Others stayed to watch. The military surrounded each ship, but no one fired. They were all waiting. General Kate Wilson stood at the edge of the military line in Washington, D.C., watching the ship through her binoculars. After 20 years in the Army, she had seen many things, but nothing like this. "Any movement?" she asked her second-in-command. "No, General," he replied. "The ship has been silent since landing 3 hours ago." As if hearing her words, the side of the ship began to change. A door appeared where there had been only smooth metal before. It opened slowly. "Everyone stay calm," Kate ordered into her radio. "No one fires unless I give the order." A tall figure stepped out of the ship. It looked almost human, but it was over 7 feet tall with gray skin that had a metallic shine. It wore what looked like armor that moved with its body. Its eyes were large and yellow, with no visible pupils. More figures followed the first. 1. They carried no visible weapons. The tall one in front looked at the gathered humans and then spoke. Its voice was deep and seemed to come from everywhere at once. "People of Earth," it said in perfect English. "I am Commander Drac of the Verith Empire. We have come for what is ours." Similar scenes played out in every city where the ships had landed. The same message in each local language. In the United Nations building in New York, world leaders gathered in an emergency meeting. Screens showed the Verith commander speaking. "We know you have found a Class 111 world ship," Drac said. "It belongs to the Verith Empire. You will tell us its location and surrender all information you have about it." The President of the United States stood up. "What gives you the right to make demands?" "You've landed in our cities without permission." Commander Drac's yellow eyes narrowed. "We have the right of power. Your weapons cannot harm our ships. Your technology is primitive compared to ours." To prove his point, Drac raised his hand. A small device appeared in it. He pressed something and all across the room phones and computers stopped working. "If you do not cooperate," Drac continued, "we will take more than your machines. We will take your world. You have 72 hours to deliver the coordinates of the world ship and all data you have collected. If you fail, we will show you the true meaning of power." With that, Drac and his soldiers returned to their ship. The door closed behind them. The same message was delivered in every city. 72 hours. Give us the world ship, or face destruction. Back. On the world ship, Captain Reed and his team were unaware of what was happening on Earth. Their communication with Europa Station had been cut off after the last message about the alien ships. "We need to get back to Earth," Reed said. "Warn them about what's coming." Alex, the Ankai boy, shook his head. "The Verith are already there. We don't have much time." "What do they want with this ship?" Lisa asked. "If they're so powerful, why do they need it?" "Let me show you," Alex said. He led them deeper into the ship, to areas they hadn't explored yet. They came to a large circular room. In the center was a glowing blue sphere about the size of a basketball, floating in the air. "This is the Nexus core," Alex explained. "It's the heart of the world ship. It can change matter and energy at will." Tom stepped closer to the core, drawn by something he couldn't explain. The pain in his head returned, but milder this time. "What do you mean it can change matter and energy?" Reed asked. "Watch," Alex said. He picked up a small metal tool from a nearby table and tossed it toward the core. The tool stopped in midair. The blue light grew brighter. The metal began to change shape, melting and reforming. When it dropped to the floor, it was no longer a tool, but a small statue of a bird, perfect in every detail. "That's impossible," Lisa whispered. "Not impossible," Alex said. "Just beyond your current science. The core understands the basic patterns of all matter. It can rearrange atoms and molecules to create anything. And the Verith want this power," Reed said, understanding now. Alex nodded. "My people, the Ankai, used the core only for creation, to build homes, to grow food, to heal the sick. But the Verith see it as a weapon. They would use it to conquer worlds, remake them in their image." "They'd be like gods," Lisa said. "False gods," Alex corrected. "The core has limits, and it was never meant to be used for destruction." Tom was still staring at the core. "I can hear it," he said quietly. "In my head. It's singing." Alex put a hand on Tom's shoulder. "That's your Ankai blood. Many thousands of years ago, before my time, the Ankai visited Earth. Some stayed, had children with humans. That blood has been diluted over generations, but it's still there in some of you. It lets you connect with our technology." Reed's face showed concern. "If what you're saying is true, Earth is in serious danger. We need to get back and warn them." "Even if we leave now, it will take days to reach Earth," Lisa pointed out, "and the Verith are already there." "There's another way," Alex said. He walked to a wall and placed his hand on it. A hidden door opened, revealing a small room with what looked like a circle of light in the center. "This is a jump gate. It can take us directly to Earth. Like teleportation? Lisa asked, amazed. Something like that, Alex said. The Ankai built them throughout the galaxy. This one is set to Earth. How is that possible? Reed asked. If your people visited Earth thousands of years ago, how would this still work? The gates are self-sustaining, Alex explained. They draw energy from space itself. As long as their pattern remains intact, they function. A loud bang echoed through the ship. What was that? Lisa asked. Reed checked his scanner. Something just docked with the ship. Multiple somethings. Alex's face turned grim. The Verith have sent ships here too. They're trying to take the world ship while their commander negotiates on Earth. Negotiates? Reed asked. Or threatens? Both, Alex said. It's how they work. They offer you a choice that isn't really a choice. If Earth gives them the location of the world ship, they'll take it and leave. If not, they'll take it anyway and destroy your world as punishment. Then we need to stop them, Tom said, surprising everyone with the strength in his voice. I don't understand all this yet, but I know we can't let them have this ship or this core. The jump gate can only take 3 at a time, Alex said. And someone needs to stay to make sure the Verith don't reach the core before we can organize a defense. Reed made a quick decision. Lisa and Tom go with Alex to Earth. Warn them about what's happening here. I'll stay and slow down the Verith. Captain, that's suicide, Lisa objected. That's an order, Reed said firmly. Earth needs to know what they're really dealing with, and Tom needs to be protected. If what Alex says is true, he may be the key to all this. Another bang, closer this time. They're getting in, Alex warned. We need to go now. Tom looked at Reed. We'll come back for you, Captain. Reed nodded. I'll hold them off as long as I can. Now go. Alex activated the jump gate. The circle of light expanded, showing what looked like a room on the other side. Pull. Through quickly, Alex instructed. Think of where on Earth you want to go and the gate will take you as close as it can. Tom and Lisa gave Reed one last look, then followed Alex through the gate. The light flashed brightly, then disappeared, leaving Reed alone. He pulled out his laser pistol and headed toward the sounds of the Verith forcing their way into the world ship. Come on then, he muttered to himself. Let's see what you're made of. The jump gate opened in an empty office building in Washington, D.C. Tom, Lisa, and Alex stumbled through, disoriented from the travel. Is everyone okay? Lisa asked, looking around the dark room. Tom nodded, but his face was pale. That was intense. The first jump is always difficult for those not used to it, Alex said. It will pass soon. They found themselves in what looked like an abandoned storage room. Dust-covered boxes were stacked along the walls. A small window showed it was night outside. Where are we exactly? Lisa asked. About 3 blocks from your Pentagon, Alex replied. Tom was thinking of military headquarters when we jumped, so the gate brought us as close as it could. Tom looked surprised. I didn't say that out loud. The gate reads surface thoughts, Alex explained. It's how it knows where to take you. They made their way out of the building and onto the street. The city was in chaos. People were running, some carrying bags, others just trying to get away. Military vehicles moved toward the center of the city. In the distance, they could see the black Verith ship looming over the mall. We need to find someone in charge, Lisa said. Someone who will listen to us. Tom pointed at a military checkpoint ahead. Let's try there. As they approached, soldiers raised their weapons. Stop right there, one shouted. This area is restricted. Lisa stepped forward, hands up. I'm Dr. Lisa Brown from the Europa Space Station. We have vital information about the aliens. The soldiers looked uncertain until a voice came from behind them. Let them through. The soldiers parted to reveal General Kate Wilson. She looked at the 3 newcomers, her eyes lingering on Alex. Dr. Brown, she said. We received word that the Europa team was investigating an unknown object before communications went dark. I assume this is related to our visitors? Yes, General, Lisa replied. This is Tom Miller, our engineer, and Alex, and who can explain everything better than we can. General Wilson studied Alex. You're not human. No, Alex replied simply. I am Ankai, the last of my kind. Wilson's face showed no surprise. We've had enough surprises today. Come with me. She led them into a secure building where military and government officials were gathered around screens showing the Verith ships in different cities. Maps covered the walls, marking the landing zones. The president is meeting with the alien commander now, Wilson explained. They're demanding we give them something called a world ship. Based on your arrival, I'm guessing you know what that is. We found it at the edge of the solar system, Lisa explained. It's enormous, ancient, and incredibly advanced. And these Verith want it badly, Wilson said. Badly enough to threaten the entire planet. They'll do more than threaten, Alex said. The Verith destroyed my world. They've destroyed many worlds that stood in their way. Wilson turned to Alex. Tell me everything, quickly. Alex explained about the Ankai, how they were a peaceful civilization that developed advanced technology by understanding the quantum structure of reality itself, how they built the world ships to explore and seed life across the galaxy, and how the Verith, once their allies, turned on them when they discovered the power of the Nexus core. My people refused to weaponize our technology, Alex said. So the Verith attacked. The war lasted only days. We were not prepared for violence on such a scale. The survivors fled on the world ships, Tom added. They were hunted across the stars. And now the last ship has wandered into our solar system, Wilson concluded. With you on it. Not just me, Alex said. The Nexus core is the true treasure they seek. With it, they could reshape reality itself within certain limits. What kind of limits? Wilson asked. The core can only affect matter within about the distance from your Earth to your moon, Alex explained. But within that range, it can change anything. Turn metal to water, create food from waste, build cities in days, or destroy them in seconds, Wilson added. Alex nodded. In the wrong hands, yes. A young officer rushed into the room. General, we have a situation. The Verith have deployed some kind of devices in the upper atmosphere, over 100 of them, spread worldwide. What kind of devices? Wilson demanded. Unknown, ma'am, but they're emitting signals into the clouds. Alex's face darkened. Weather modulators. They're preparing to demonstrate their power. As if on cue, the sky outside darkened. Wind began to howl through the streets. Within minutes, rain pounded against the windows, and lightning flashed across the sky. This storm came out of nowhere, Wilson said, watching as hail began to fall. And it's happening all over the world, the officer reported, checking his tablet. Storms, earthquakes, tsunamis forming on coastlines. It's a taste of what's to come, Alex said. A warning. Wilson turned to the room. How long until their deadline? 52 hours, ma'am. And we still haven't told them where the world ship is, Lisa said. The president refused their demands, Wilson replied. Said we don't negotiate with threats. Tom, who had been quiet, suddenly spoke up. Captain Reed is still on the world ship. The Verith were boarding when we left. One man against who knows how many aliens, Wilson mused. Not good odds. There's something else you should know, Alex said. He looked at Tom. It's about you. Tom shifted uncomfortably. What about me? Your connection to the ship isn't random, Alex explained. The visions, the headaches, understanding the symbols, it's because you have Ankai DNA. The room fell silent. What are you talking about? Tom asked. I'm human, born in Chicago. Thousands of years ago, the Ankai visited Earth, Alex explained. Some stayed, had children with humans. Those children had children of their own. The bloodline thinned over generations but never disappeared completely. So, Tom is part alien? Lisa asked. A very small part, Alex confirmed. But enough to connect with our technology. Enough to potentially control the Nexus core. Tom sat down heavily. That's why I could read the symbols. Why I felt drawn to the ship. Wilson looked at Tom with new interest. If what he's saying is true, you're very valuable right now. To us and to the Verith. The Verith don't know about Tom, Lisa said. Not yet. Let's keep it that way, Wilson decided. If he can control this core thing, he might be our only advantage. A loud boom shook the building. Outside, lightning struck a nearby structure, setting it on fire. The storms are getting worse, the officer reported. Reports of damage coming in from all over the world. This is just the beginning, Alex warned. If the Verith don't get what they want, they'll do much worse. Wilson made a decision. We need to get back to that ship. If it's as powerful as you say, it's our only hope against these aliens. But how? Lisa asked. The Verith are already there, and Earth is blockaded. Not completely, Alex said. The jump gate on the world ship is connected to the one we used. To get here, we can go back. Then we go back, Wilson said firmly. With more than just 3 people this time. She turned to the officer. Get me our best special forces team. Small, adaptable, used to impossible missions. We're going to steal a world ship from under the Verith's nose. Tom looked out at the raging storm. What about Captain Reed? He could be. One problem at a time, Wilson said. First, we need to get to the ship. Then we find your captain. And then we figure out how to use this Nexus core to send these Verith back where they came from. The building shook again as thunder boomed overhead. The weather is just the start, Alex said quietly. The Verith are showing restraint. For now. Wilson looked at the young alien. Then let's move before they stop showing restraint. The clock is ticking. The storm had not stopped for 12 hours. All across Earth, strange weather patterns caused chaos. Rivers flooded. Winds tore roofs from houses. Lightning started fires that were hard to put out in the heavy rain. In the underground bunker beneath the Pentagon, General Wilson gathered her team. 6 Special Forces soldiers stood in a line, fully armed and ready. Tom, Lisa, and Alex watched as Wilson explained the mission. This is not a normal operation, Wilson told the soldiers. You are going to another world. A ship bigger than anything we've ever built, and it's currently being taken over by hostile aliens. One of the soldiers, a muscular man named Mike, spoke up. What's the objective, General? Primary objective is to secure the ship's core power source, Wilson replied. Secondary is to rescue Captain Reed if he's still alive. The alien boy, Alex, will guide you. Alex stepped forward. The Verith will be looking for the Nexus core, that's our advantage. They don't know exactly where it is inside the ship. But you do? Another soldier asked. Yes, Alex said. And I know paths they won't expect us to use. Tom was staring at a tablet screen, drawing symbols he had seen on the world ship. The strange headaches had returned, but milder now. Almost like a gentle pressure rather than pain. What about the Verith ships around Earth? Lisa asked. Once we make our move, won't they attack? Wilson nodded. That's why we need to be quick. We're organizing a global resistance effort. Every nation is preparing to strike the Verith ships at the same time, as a distraction. It won't be enough, Alex warned. Their ships are too advanced. We don't need to win, Wilson said. We just need to buy you time to reach the core. Tom looked up from his drawing. I think I understand something about the ship now. The symbols, they're not just writing. They're keys. He showed them the tablet. The symbols he had drawn seemed to glow slightly on the screen. Each major section of the ship has a control room, Tom explained, not sure how he knew this. If we can reach one, I might be able to slow down the Verith, maybe lock some doors. Wilson looked impressed. That gives us more options. Mike, half your team focuses on getting Tom to a control room. The rest go with Alex to secure the core. What about me? Lisa asked. You know more about the ship than anyone except these two, Wilson said, nodding toward Tom and Alex. You're the backup. If anything happens to either of them, you need to step in. Outside, the thunder grew louder. The lights in the bunker flickered. Their demonstration is getting worse, Wilson noted. We need to move now. They made their way to the abandoned building where the jump gate had brought Tom, Lisa, and Alex to Earth. The room was still empty, but now guarded by soldiers. How do we activate it? Wilson asked, looking at the empty space where the gate had been. Alex stepped forward and placed his hand on the wall. Blue light spread from his fingers, forming a circle that grew until it was large enough for a person to step through. Think of the world ship, Alex instructed the team. Specifically the room we arrived from. The gate will take us there. Mike and his team checked their weapons. Ladies first, he said with a grim smile. Lisa took a deep breath and stepped through the gate. The blue light flashed. She disappeared. One by one, the others followed. Tom went last, looking back at General Wilson. 48 hours, she reminded him. That's all the time we have before the Verith deadline. Tom nodded and stepped through the gate. On the world ship, the room was dark when they arrived. Alex quickly touched a panel on the wall, and soft lights came on. Everyone here? Mike whispered, counting his team. All 8 of them had made it through. Mike and his 5 soldiers, plus Lisa, Tom, and Alex. The Verith will have secured the main passages by now, Alex said quietly. But there are maintenance tunnels they won't know about. He pressed another panel, and a hidden door opened in the wall, revealing a narrow passage. What about Captain Reed? Tom asked. We need to find him. First the control room, Mike said firmly, then we can look for your captain. They entered the maintenance tunnel, moving in single file. The passage was tight but tall enough for them to stand. It seemed to go on forever, with occasional branches leading in different directions. Alex led them confidently through the maze. After 20 minutes of walking, he stopped and listened. Verith patrols above us, he whispered. They're moving toward the center of the ship. Toward the core? Lisa asked. Yes, Alex replied. But they're searching methodically. They don't know exactly where it is. They continued on until Alex stopped again at what looked like a dead end. He touched the wall in a pattern, and another hidden door opened. The nearest control room, he explained. Tom, this is where we split up. Mike divided his team. Johnson, Williams, Park, you're with Tom and Dr. Brown. Secure the control room. The rest come with me and the alien kid to find this core. Tom looked at Alex. What do I do once I'm inside? Place your hand on the main console, Alex said. Your Ankai blood will do the rest. The ship will recognize you. The team separated. Tom led his group into the control room while Alex and the others continued through the tunnels. The control room was empty but powered up. Screens showed different parts of the ship, many now occupied by Verith soldiers. They moved in organized, patterns, searching room by room. They're thorough, Lisa noted. Military precision. Tom approached the main console, a curved panel with those same strange symbols glowing softly. He placed his hand on it. Instantly, his mind filled with images. The whole ship appeared in his thoughts, every room, every corridor. He could see the Verith, hundreds of them spreading throughout the ship, and he could see something else, a single human heat signature hiding in a storage room 3 levels down. Captain Reed, Tom said aloud. He's alive. Where? Lisa asked, urgently. Tom pointed to one of the screens which changed to show the storage room. There. But he's surrounded by Verith patrols. Can you control the ship? Johnson asked, the soldier keeping watch at the door. Tom focused. Somehow he knew what to do. He moved his fingers across the console, and doors throughout the ship began to close. Lights shut off in corridors where Verith soldiers were searching. I'm slowing them down, Tom said. But they have tools to open the doors. This won't hold them long. On another screen, they saw the other team making progress toward the core. They were moving faster now that the Verith were delayed by the closed doors. Wait, Tom said suddenly. Something's wrong. A new alert appeared on the screen. Outside, the ship, several Verith vessels were approaching. They're sending reinforcements, Lisa realized. At that moment, the ship shook violently. Alarms began to sound. What was that? Park asked, steadying himself against the wall. They're attacking. The ship? Tom said, reading the symbols that flashed across the screen. They must have realized someone else is on board. Can this ship defend itself? Johnson asked. Tom shook his head. The defensive systems were never activated. The Ankai were peaceful. They never expected to need weapons. The ship shook again. Need to reach the core, Lisa said. It's our only hope. Tom looked at the screens, watching both Reed's location and the team heading for the core. He made a decision. Johnson, you and Williams go find Captain Reed. Park stays here with us to guard the control room, Tom ordered. I'll guide you through. The ship. Those aren't our orders, Johnson objected. Captain Reed knows this ship, Tom argued. We need him, and I can help both teams from here. Johnson hesitated, then nodded. Fine, but be ready to move if things get worse. As Johnson and Williams left, Tom turned back to the console. Through the ship's systems, he could see the Verith commander on one of the attacking ships. It was Drac himself, the same leader who had threatened Earth. They're getting desperate, Tom said. They know we're here and they know what we're trying to do. Can we still reach the core before them? Lisa asked. Tom watched the screens, his connection to the ship growing stronger by the minute. Yes, he said, but only if I can keep them distracted. He placed both hands on the console and closed his eyes. Throughout the ship, systems began to activate that had been dormant for centuries. The world ship was waking up. The world ship trembled as the Verith vessels attacked from outside. Inside, Tom's connection to the ship grew stronger with each passing minute. His hands moved across the control panel as if he had been trained to use it his entire life. The ship is responding to me, he told Lisa and Park, who watched in amazement. I can feel it, like it's alive. On the screens, they could see Johnson and Williams fighting their way toward Captain Reed's location. The Verith had discovered them, and laser fire flashed in the corridors. They need help, Lisa said, watching the soldiers take cover behind a corner. Tom nodded. He closed his eyes and concentrated. In the corridor where Johnson and Williams were pinned down, panels in the walls suddenly opened. Small floating orbs emerged, glowing with soft blue light. The orbs moved toward the Verith soldiers and released pulses of energy that knocked them unconscious. What are those? Park asked, his rifle still trained on the control room door. Defense drones, Tom replied, surprised at his own knowledge. The Ankai made them to protect, not to kill. On another screen, they watched Alex leading Mike and the rest of the team through the maintenance tunnels. They were getting close to the Nexus core, but Verith forces were closing in from all sides. Outside, more Verith ships had arrived. The attacks on the world ship intensified. Tom, Lisa said, pointing to a new alert on the screen. Look at this. A message from Earth appeared. General Wilson's face was grim as she reported. The Verith have escalated their attacks. Major cities are experiencing severe earthquakes. Coastal areas are being hit by tsunamis. Millions of people are in danger. Whatever you're going to do it now. Tom felt the weight of responsibility pressing down on him. We need to get to the core. That's the only way to stop this. But what about Captain Reed? Lisa asked. And the others? Tom made a quick decision. I can guide them all from here, but I need to focus. Park, guard the door. Lisa, watch the screens and tell me if anything changes. He placed both hands on the console again and closed his eyes. This time he let himself sink deeper into the connection with the ship. In his mind, he could see the entire vessel as if he were looking at a three-dimensional map. He could feel every system, every circuit, every power flow. With a thought, he sent more defense drones to help Johnson and Williams. With another, he opened a hidden path for Alex's team to reach the core. Then he focused on the Verith ships attacking from outside. The world ship had no weapons, but it had shields. Tom activated them, and a shimmering blue barrier appeared around the ship, deflecting the Verith attacks. It's working, Lisa said, watching the screens. The shields are holding. On one screen, they saw Johnson and Williams reach the storage room where Reed was hiding. The captain looked tired and injured, but alive. He had been fighting a guerrilla war against the Verith for hours, using whatever he could find as weapons. Captain, Johnson shouted as they entered the room. Time to go. Reed looked up, surprised. How did you get here? Long story, Williams replied. But Tom Miller is controlling the ship somehow, and we need to get to the core. On another screen, Alex's team had reached the entrance to the core chamber. But Verith soldiers had found another way in and were already inside. No, Lisa gasped. They've reached the core. Tom opened his eyes. We need to get there now. All of us. He sent a message to both teams, directing them to the core chamber. Then he, Lisa, and Park left the control room, running through the corridors that Tom now knew by heart. As they ran, the ship shook again. The Verith attacks were getting more intense, and even the shields were beginning to fail. General Wilson just sent another message, Lisa said, checking her communicator. The Verith on Earth are saying they'll destroy everything if they don't. Get the ship in the next hour. They're getting desperate, Tom replied. That means we're close to stopping them. They reached the core chamber just as Reed, Johnson, and Williams arrived from another direction. Alex and his team were already inside, engaged in a firefight with Verith soldiers. The chamber was massive, with the glowing blue Nexus core floating in the center. Verith soldiers fired energy weapons at Mike's team, who had taken cover behind pillars around the room. In the center of the Verith forces stood Commander Drac himself. He had come aboard from his ship and was approaching the core. Stop them, Tom shouted. More defense drones appeared from hidden compartments, flooding the room and attacking the Verith. In the confusion, Mike's team advanced, taking out more soldiers. Tom ran toward the core, knowing that he needed to reach it before Drac. The Verith commander saw him coming and fired his weapon. The blast hit the floor near Tom's feet, sending him tumbling. Tom, Reed shouted, firing his borrowed Verith weapon at Drac. The commander turned and shot Reed in the shoulder. The captain fell back, wounded but still conscious. Humans, Drac said, his voice cold. You have no idea what power you're meddling with. This technology belongs to the Verith now. Alex appeared beside Tom, helping him to his feet. Tell him why you want it so badly, Drac, the boy said. Tell them the truth. Drac hesitated, then laughed bitterly. Why not? You'll all be dead soon anyway. He turned to the humans. My people are dying. A genetic disease is killing us slowly. We need the core to rewrite our genetic code to save my species. So you would destroy other worlds to save your own? Lisa asked, helping Reed sit up. Without hesitation, Drac replied. Survival is all that matters. That's where you're wrong, Tom said, standing up straight. The Ankai understood that all life is connected. That's why they built the world ships, to preserve life, not just their own. Tom started walking toward the core again. Drac raised his weapon, but Alex stepped in front of Tom. He's right, Alex said. The core was never meant to be a weapon. It was meant to heal, to create, to bring worlds together. Stand aside, child, Drac ordered. I can't do that, Alex replied, and neither can he. Tom stepped around Alex and continued toward the core. Drac fired, but the blast seemed to curve around Tom, missing him completely. What? Drac shouted in confusion, firing again with the same result. Tom reached the core and placed his hands on it. The blue glow intensified, spreading up his arms and throughout his body. His eyes began to glow with the same blue light. Understand now, Tom said, his voice echoing strangely in the chamber. This was never about power, it was about connection. The blue light spread throughout the chamber, touching everyone, humans and Verith alike. Images appeared in the air around them. Stars being born, planets forming, life evolving. The entire history of the galaxy played out before their eyes. We are all part of the same story, Tom said, the knowledge of the Ankai flowing through him. The Verith, the Ankai, the humans, we all came from the same stars. The light grew brighter, and something changed. The Verith weapons transformed in their hands, becoming simple tools. Outside, the attacking ships stopped firing as their weapon systems changed form. What have you done? Drac demanded, looking at his transformed weapon. I've reminded the core of its true purpose, Tom replied. Not destruction, but creation. Not division, but unity. The blue light spread beyond the ship, reaching toward Earth. The weather control devices the Verith had deployed began to change, transforming from tools of destruction into machines that healed the atmosphere and stabilized the weather patterns. The core is rewriting your technology, Alex explained to Drac. Not to harm you, but to save you. It will heal your genetic disease just as you wanted, but it won't let you harm others to do it. Drac fell to his knees, watching as the blue light touched his skin. He could feel the change beginning, the disease that had been killing his people slowly being corrected. "Why?" he asked, looking up at Tom. "Why would you help us after what we did?" "Because that's what the Ankai would have done," Tom replied. "And that's what humanity chooses to do. We help those in need, even our enemies." The glow around Tom faded, and he stepped back from the core. It still floated in the center of the chamber, but now it pulsed with a new rhythm, as if it were breathing. "What happens now?" Reed asked, his wound already healing from the core's energy. Tom looked at Alex, then at Drac, then at his fellow humans. "Now we learn from each other. The world ship will take its place in Earth orbit. It will be a bridge between worlds, a place where Verith, humans, and the reborn Ankai can work together." "A new beginning," Lisa said, smiling. "For all of us," Tom agreed, as the blue light of the Nexus core continued to spread throughout the galaxy, healing, connecting, and bringing worlds together.